8 good years. And out of 8 good years, guys, we have a very beautiful...
Oh yeah, we actually have a daughter, guys.
She was born in the
16th May 2019.
2019.
Yeah, we are actually waiting for her here.
So,
does it mean that Madam and Oga Charlow did not have their first daughter together? Because Oga Charlow, you go to his IG, you will see him celebrating the girl's birthday, even before the 30 days party. And even the celebration they just did recently, okay, her birthday that they just celebrated, the intro was done only by Oga Charlow. So it looks like this is Oga, and the child, their daughter looks like Oga Charlow more than Madam Lee. And I've not really seen her, you know, into the girl that much. But you cannot tell, because I mean, you can't see everything.
even the kid came before I graduated. Before even you graduated.
Yeah, like we became parents when we were in the university, in college, and it was not easy. But guys, we just persevered.
Very young.
Yeah, we were very young.
It looks like they didn't have that child together, because definitely that child is older than 30 days party that was 3 years ago.
Actually, guys, my mom was buying second-hand clothes. We call it mutumba from Gikomba, and she was sending it to us to sell so we can sustain ourselves. Yeah, and that way, I think she just nurtured us to be responsible parents.
Like there is no any day that we felt like having a kid in campus
was a
problem. Yeah, and also my sisters helped to take care of my baby. So guys, we are here. We are actually waiting for the daughter that this beautiful story made.
Yeah, we're waiting for her here actually.
They just had a child recently, and for sure that is their own, but I doubt, allegedly. How can you say that I'm not sure of something that they have shared here? This allegedly sometimes is confusing me. Allegedly they didn't know each other prior to 30 days I am Marowa housewarming party that happened 3 years ago. Allegedly they met there. Allegedly they fell in love.
I feel like exploding, honestly, because apparently we have a bully, and this bully is an adult. I mean, it's crazy. You guys, when you listen to Coochie Meow Meow speak, you would question a lot of things, and especially about her intellect. Now, let me first of all talk to her before I dive into the whole discussion we're going to have this afternoon, because it's early afternoon right now as I'm speaking. So, Coochie Meow Meow, let me first of all tell you one thing. You see, in your body, there's a small organ called a brain. The function of a brain is to receive information, decode that information, and get its outputs. Right now as you're speaking, all you're spewing is garbage, rubbish. Coochie Meow Meow, at what time are you going to stop attacking and bullying Lynette underscore KA and Charlow Kush? And especially now that you started including their kid, their daughter, someone who is very, very innocent. I thought when it comes to reactions, when it comes to commentaries, we are going to have some limits, we are going to have some boundaries. It seems like Coochie Meow Meow doesn't understand that. She's going way below the belt. She's going way below. Why would she attack an innocent kid in all this conversation? Why is she bringing an innocent kid in all this conversation? You can attack Lynette all you want, you can attack Charlow all you want, but leave their kid out of this. What has their daughter got to do with all this nonsense that you're trying to spew? Coochie Meow Meow. Coochie Meow Meow. Coochie. I told you, if your coochie is itchy, go seek medical help. Stop spewing this nonsense. Why would you honestly attack that kid? Trying to bring in a debate, knowing very well that you know for a fact that that kid belongs to Charlow and Lynette. And they've done tons of videos, but you chose to ignore all those other videos that they may have done, and you chose to pick a story for nothing and then start attacking a kid. Right now you are bullying kids. And that reminds me, Coochie Meow Meow, you did the same thing to Miss Trudy and Woody Maya. I've never forgotten that story because I wouldn't have expected someone like you would go that low. So we are having a bully, and she's part of the rescue team. And you know, the scripture says, show me your friends and I'll tell you your character. It tells me one thing. This is the same thing that Gaty did on Maisha. Gaty attacked a very innocent kid, Maisha, the son to Ayamaro. That's the exact thing they did. So they have formed a habit. The so-called rescue team, they have formed a habit to bully kids. So the other time, Maisha was being bullied. Now they are bullying Hailey. This is something that I honestly need to get deep into and discuss and address these bullies. When it comes to kids, keep off. Keep off. If you think you can run the streets attacking kids and bullying kids, Coochie Meow Meow, Gaty, if you think you're going to run this space attacking kids, it's not going to happen under my watch. There's a new sheriff in town, baby. It's not going to happen. You guys are not going to bully kids like that. It's not going to happen. So first of all, Coochie Meow Meow sits down for 45 minutes, is discussing a family. So she's trying to prove to her audience that Lynette and Charlow are actually not a couple, because apparently that's her newfounded niche. She's trying to disintegrate families that are very much intact here in Kenya. Last time and I think I discussed that a lot in the last video that I did, she was attacking Kasichana and Toya and their daughter. And then she started attacking Mama Chogo and Baba Chogo. Now, she has realized that nobody's giving her attention. Now she's coming for the kids. That's how low she's willing to go. Just because she's running a smear campaign against Lynette, now she's willing to go low and lower and attack her kids. You see, Coochie Meow Meow, we're in 2026. As much as you want to do your commentary, be learned first. Well, I understand that you hang out with people like Matsubowa or Master Bear One, a guy who got no common sense. Those are the guys you want to hang around with, and you know, and I'm looking at your followers. First of all, your followers are as dumb as you are. Coochie Meow Meow, they're as dumb actually, because apparently they're the ones who are giving you those ideas. That makes me believe they're even way dumb than you are. And the fact that you're following your followers in making those silly assertions, and like I explained, all you're doing, you and your followers, you're just exchanging STDs here, silly transferred decisions. Because before you make a comment, before you write a comment below there, you already have made a decision. And when you're making that decision, it's a silly decision. So as far as I understand, these silly transmitted decisions, STDs. So Coochie Meow Meow with your itchy coochie, you can talk all ash you won't talk, but leave the kids out of this. It's not healthy, it's not funny. Looking back, you guys, I had to attach that those clips so that at least you can have a deeper understanding of where I'm headed to with this story. If you look at the history of Charlow and Lynette, they got their kid in 2019. By that time, they hadn't even graduated from university. They were students at Kisii University. From the information I got, one was doing I don't know, something to do with agrochemistry or biochemistry or something like that. The other one was doing teaching, that is Lynette, and they have succeeded in whatever they wanted to do outside of their careers. They have really succeeded. They have really worked so hard, like it has been explained from those videos, from those clips that are just attached here. Lynette and Charlow, when they had their kid while they were still students, Charlow's mom would send second-hand clothes so that they can sell and sustain themselves, and also help in bringing up of their baby, because they had their kid while they were still students. And now we have a mad woman who is trying to question whether that kid belongs to Charlow or Lynette. And she's trying to make some of the most stupid arguments and comments that you'd ever sit down and listen to. That's crazy. Now, one of the questions that I'm really asking myself is, so nowadays, paternity test is done by looking at Instagram photos and videos. That's how low we've gone. That's how Coochie Meow Meow want us to believe. Like, if you really want to know, you don't even need to do a DNA test. Nowadays, the paternity test has to be done using photographs and images. Yet there's plenty of information that she could have gone and looked into to educate herself and learn something about these young couples. And they have succeeded way more than she will ever succeed in this life. And yeah, I mean, to belittle her on that, because first of all, the fact that she's a mom, she's a mother, and discussing another mother's child as part of her smear campaign against Lynette, that's absurd, that's crazy. That's so low. You know, we have levels when it comes to commentaries and all these things. I believe, at least, even if we are shameless as we are, at least I kind of tend to believe that we have limits. We have to have some morals and ethics here and there. There are levels we don't go beyond. There are things we don't accept. Like gender-based violence, those are things we don't accept. We will never side with pedophiles. We will never agree with people who are bullying kids. Gay tea. Show me your friends and I'll tell you your character. This guy was running his mouth, attacking Maisha. Maisha, for those of you who don't know, is the son to Aya Marwa and Rocio. They might not be perfect parents, but again, when you're trying, when it comes to kids, you need to practice restraint. You can attack the person, you can attack the dad as much as you want. They have shocks to absorb that. But again, now when you start involving kids, and just because people have decided to bring in their kids on social media space, you know, apparently these guys, they love giving the excuse that if you bring your kids to social media, expect that they're going to receive this. No. Coochie Meow Meow, you are an adult. You should know better. You cannot be running your mouth like that, attacking an innocent kid for the sake of views. That's silly. That's unheard of. And this is not the first time you've done that. Now, even if I were to go to relationships, the number of relationships you've been talking about ever. Because the last time you really went down, you were running down with Wodemaya. McHugh, they had just gone through that period of time where they had lost they had like 4 miscarriages. Wodemaya didn't have money. Mentally, he wasn't even there. So for him to fire his employees and do whatever he did, it was to protect himself. And you are there trying to point fingers at Wodemaya. Like everybody else is wrong, but you stand to be right all the time. I don't agree with that nonsense anyways. See, Coochie Meow Meow. Something is wrong with your brain. Based on how you argue your points, it seems like that part of your body doesn't function. Well, Meow Meow does, of course. There's always a reason as to why you're always flying to Buhanse. But that part here, it needs a lot of fixing. Probably you might need some therapy if somebody hurt you, or you might need to visit a psychiatrist, or whoever you want to visit. Maybe you want to get more digmatized in Buhanse, go ahead and do it. But leave kids out of this drama. It's not even funny. It's not. You're being ridiculous right now. You and your team, I knew from the word go you guys are just a bunch of lunatics. Imbeciles. People who don't have the capacity to reason right. That's why for you it's very funny. You're okay bringing in a kid and dragging that kid through all this drama. And Hailey is happy with her life. She's probably going to a private school, something you cannot afford. Coochie meow meow. Do you think you can afford when you're busy wasting money being a sugar mommy to Bohanse boys? Do you think you can afford to take your kids to private schools and all that while you're busy running, booking flights here and there? And you're doing economy, as far as I know for a fact, to come and get digmatized in Bohanse, and not just getting yourself digmatized, but it's like you carry witchcraft. And one thing I've noted with you, Coochie Meow Meow, is that everything you touch, you and Gaty, everything you touch dries up. And you wanted us to deflect from the fact that the conversation we were supposed to be having is, ever since you stepped to Vipingo, did anything happen? Right now you're busy fighting relationships. And according to you, the relationship that the type of a relationship we are supposed to emulate is that of yours, that of James and Clarice. Nothing bad about them and their relationship. I mean, it's up to them with the life they want to live. But you are busy attacking everybody else just because people don't agree with you. So you feel it's your right, it's within your rights to keep on attacking everything that belongs to them, everything that makes them them. Did you see how good this couple looked together yesterday when they were celebrating the 40k subscribers? Something that is going to take you probably another year before you get that mark. For 16 years you've been in this game and you've not achieved even a quarter of what Charlow and Lynette have achieved. Being older, being a person who stayed in this social media space for a very long time, somebody would have expected, maybe you would have achieved, we would be expecting for you to be having apartments. But you're busy trying to drag in kids, trying to bully in kids here. That's silly. And you're infecting your followers. Your subscribers are down. They are the dumbest thing. Instead of them calling you out on how silly you sound and how silly you're making your assertions. I mean, honestly, Coochie Meow Meow, how do you just take a photo from Instagram and that becomes your receipt to prove that indeed you're doing a paternity test using an Instagram photo? Make it make sense. Where is your logic? You guys, like I said last time, you're a bunch of lunatics, losers. You don't even have shame. You don't even know when to have boundaries and limits. And you want to come here and lecture everybody else, trying to drag Lynette and Charlow's names under the bus, under the mud, just because you want to run a certain particular narrative that is not even selling. Nobody's even buying it. Guess what? As you guys have been continue running your mouths, Charlow and Lynette are gaining more. And soon, Lynette is going to be celebrating her 100k subscribers. Meanwhile, your girl and that channel is not monetized. And to be honest, you guys are just a bad omen. You are the reason as to why it's not even getting monetized. You are the reason as to why it's derailing the progress and the success story of that YouTube channel is nowhere anymore. Right now, but the girl you are praising so much, like she's the one who brought, she was the one carrying the torch for AVL. Right now as we're speaking, she's not. Look at her YouTube channel. She's doing less than 100k. The only way she's making views is when there's controversy. Make it make sense. And it's because of people like you, Coochie Meow Meow. Because Coochie Meow Meow, anytime you get an opportunity to speak, you don't know which mouth to open. You don't know whether it's meow meow or you don't know which mouth should be opened for you to speak. Because you're talking garbage and rubbish, and the fact that you're actually bullying kids, you and Gaty bullying kids. This is crazy. Coochie Meow Meow. This is crazy. That's why I don't even feel any guilt calling you whatever I'm calling you. Anytime you have the opportunity to, maybe somebody would be coming to you as a grandmother, expecting to gain some knowledge and to gain some insights from you. But instead of gaining some insights from you, your mind is full of BS. And the fact that your audience is cheering you up, like even when you're bullying kids, your audience is cheering you up. You and your audience, you and your subscribers need mental evaluation. You guys need a psychiatrist. You and your subscribers, you're dumb as hell. How would you run such a narrative knowing very well that you're messing up? Knowing very well that it can have an impact on these kids? Just like Gaty was messing up and talking shit about Marwa and the kid. You got to leave kids out of this discussion. There are limits, there are boundaries. Coochie Meow Meow. When we attack you. We understand you got kids. Nobody should come for your kids. Baby TV has got kids. We've seen them. We leave the kids out of this nonsense. OT got kids. AM Carol got kids. Itmora got kids. Mary TV got kids. The kids are left out of this nonsense that is run here. They are innocent. This whole thing, sometimes it's about money, it's about making views, but you won't run this narrative being ignorant. I'll go for Masubo 1, Matubo 1, Mastabira 1, day in, day out, I don't care. But I leave the kids out of it. I leave the kids out of it. He talks about another family and their relationship. I talk about his family and the relationship. You can come and talk about me the way you want. Gaty tried. He did once, he stopped. I called him out and told him, bro, if you want to come after me, let's... And he started it. And once you start with me, I ain't stopping. I ain't stopping. I'll stop when I want. But you can come at me anytime. You can say anything you want. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't really bother me. At the end of the day, I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm headed. I know what my goals. I know the skills I'm trying to hone. I know what I'm doing. But going for kids, that is so low. That is so wrong. And people should be calling you out on that. Everybody should be calling you out on that. There are limits. There are boundaries. Coochie Meow Meow, there are boundaries to this. We don't go for kids. Stop bullying kids. You and Gaty, stop bullying kids. If you noted, if we mention Nyevu, if we mention Toya, we mention it trying to ask what about their education, who is going to pay for their school fees. I mean, we understand Clarice and James may have a lot of weaknesses, but again, when you look at the kids, they are very innocent. Nobody attacks Toya, nobody attacks Nyevu. We can only say some things like, you'd expect to see this, but you don't attack a kid. Have you ever seen anybody attacking Toya and attacking Nyevu, the kids, to Clarice and James? Nobody. Nobody goes for the kids. We don't. We know we have our limits. Nobody goes for the kids. We don't do that. And Coochie Meow Meow should know that. Just because she's a sugar mama, I mean, she should know better. That she needs to interrogate her thinking before she speaks. She needs to revise her thought patterns before she speaks. Engage Coochie. Engage you're thinking before you speak. Engage, think about what you want to say. We don't attack kids. That was so uncalled for. Trying to bring in Charlow's daughter into this whole argument. Trying to bring in this paternity test whole issue in this whole argument. And I don't care whether you said it lightly or whether you just touched on it, the fact that you even entertained that thought. That's what I'm interested in. That's what I'm dealing with right here, right now. Because that was so uncalled for. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that. That is irresponsible, and your people should be calling you out on that. I wonder what Mastubo One, he's a father, is waiting for. He should be the first to call you out. Gaty should be another person who should be calling you out, and Jihan should be another person who should be calling you out. You guys, bunch of losers, rescue team. What are you rescuing if you can't rescue your own thoughts? That is sad, to be honest. We don't bring in kids in these arguments, in these debates. And with that, guys, I want to wish you a lovely, lovely afternoon. It's very early in the afternoon right now. I usually don't make videos in the afternoon, but I had to. I had to make this one. I don't have to wait. I couldn't wait until evening for me to make this video. I had to make it as early as now. And see you in the next one. Keep tuned in here, and God bless you.